I am too busy. Now, how many times have you said that phrase in the last month? We all have 24 hours a day, but today, those hours, they just seem to go by faster than ever before. Everything and everyone is just fighting for your attention. Your kids, your phone, your spouse, your job, your friends, your TV, your church, your hobbies, they all want your time. Now, rest is the most forgotten spiritual discipline because we don't have room for it. And when we do rest, we feel guilty, like we're somehow being lazy and we should be doing something else with our time. We forget that God set the standard by commanding the Israelites to rest one day a week. Just look at Exodus 28 through 11. But here's the deal. There is plenty of time for productivity and getting stuff done, but we also were created to rest. So here are 7 ways to find more room for rest in your life. Number 1, eliminate non-essential activity. If there's something that you're doing that you hate to do, ask yourself, is this necessary? If it's not, if you can find any reason you don't need to be doing that thing, stop doing it or find a way to just cut it out of your life. For me, I hate yard work. Anybody else with me? I know some people love it. It's not my thing. So what I did is I bought a simple home without much of a yard. I've had the big yard in the past, and what I did was I spent a big part of every single weekend taking care of that yard. I don't want to spend my weekends as a landscaper. I want to spend it as a husband, as a father, as a pastor, as a friend. I want to take my kids for a bike ride. I want to coach their sports teams, and then I want to take a nap while football's on the TV. Anybody with me? Can I get an amen? I've eliminated 99% of my landscaping duties this way. So what else do you need to eliminate? Is there anything in your life that you just don't like doing that you just need to get out of there? Number 2, automate repeated activities. If something that you do repeatedly can't be eliminated, so you've asked the question, can I eliminate this? The answer is no, I have to do this. Then you need to ask yourself, can I automate this? For example, do you have to input all of your expenses into a spreadsheet, or is there a software that's going to do that for you to help track your budget for you? Do you have to email back and forth to schedule meetings back and forth? Oh, that's so annoying, right? Or could you use an app like Calendly to do it for you? There are a lot of great tools out there like Zapier or Siri shortcuts even that can help you automate repeated tasks that you do over and over again. Now, not all repeated activities can be solved with an app, but there are some ways that you can nearly automate your process. For example, I get a lot of the same email questions. So instead of writing individual replies to every single question repeatedly over and over and over again, I use email templates. Now, instead of spending 10 minutes crafting and editing a response to each email every time one comes in, it takes about 10 seconds. I've got templates for things like baptism questions that come into my church, volunteer interests, new guests when they come for the first time, and more. So think about it. What can you automate in your life? It might take some time getting it set up, but once it's set up, it's going to save you tons of time if you keep doing that thing over and over and over again. Number 3, delegate things you don't have to do. If you can't eliminate or automate something, then you need to ask yourself, do I have to be the one doing this? Does it have to be me? If someone else can do it for you, give that job to them. So since my wife and I, we both work, we don't have a lot of extra time around the house. So instead of spending all of our nights and all of our weekends cleaning and doing yard work like I talked about earlier, we cut our cable bill and we took that money instead and we hired a cleaning service. Once a month, they come and they help with some of the deep cleaning stuff around the house so that all we have to do is keep up with the basic cleaning, the basic house maintenance. They do the deep cleaning stuff for us. Saves us a whole bunch of time. Now, we also delegate a lot of our housework to our kids to help them build character, even though that might be harder at times than it would be to do it ourselves. So maybe that's not the best example. Another example is at the office. I often find myself doing things that somebody else really could be doing. And honestly, they could probably be doing it better than me. And when I realize this, I delegate these tasks to the right staff members or the right volunteers to help. And by the way, giving high capacity volunteers ownership of something in your church is a great way to take something off of your plate and bless somebody else with an opportunity to use their God-given gifts in something they excel at. Now, whether at home or at work, you got to do what Moses did in Exodus 18. Keep your focus on the things that drive results and find ways to delegate or outsource the work that drains you. You may find a lot of other people who like that kind of work and do a better job than you anyways, and you're going to be more productive and they're going to be more productive. It's a win-win situation. Number 4, get organized. You'll rest better when your life is in order. A cluttered life often results in a cluttered mind. Now, plus, on the practical side, you're going to save time when you know where to find things and you don't have to sort through piles in order to find it. It's incredible how much time we can waste just looking for things throughout the day, the things we can't find, or even how often we panic because we didn't have a plan when something comes up, like the dreaded question, what do you want to do for dinner? So, organize your stuff, your calendar, your meals, and your budget. Organizing is playing the long game, right? It's a lot of work up front. It may take a lot of time to get everything organized, and nobody likes doing that process. Well, maybe some people, but most people don't like that process. But once you've got that system in place, once everything's organizing, it's easy to keep it up, and your life is just so much more peaceful, and you've got more time just to sit back and rest. Number 5, plan your rest. Now, I know planning doesn't sound very restful, but if you don't plan for rest, it just won't happen. Something else is going to fill that gap in your schedule. So schedule time every single week where you're going to do nothing. You can't even put it in your calendar, do nothing, rest. All right, block that off and decide when you're going to use your vacation time. Because if you don't book it ahead of time, you may not even use it. If you're like me, I can just put my head down and work. And before I know it, I've got all this vacation time built up because I never took the time to take a break. Now, here's another thing you might want to do. Give yourself a bedtime. When do you need to go to sleep every night so that you wake up rested and ready for the day? Set it now. I've got a reminder on my phone that goes off every night at the same time, reminding me, hey, it's time to go to bed. Shut off whatever you're doing, turn off the device, put down the show, stop talking to everybody, go to sleep. You need the rest because you're grumpy and no one likes you when you don't get enough. Number 6, limit screen time. Now, it's hard to imagine, but a long time ago, people didn't have electronic devices in their pocket to entertain them 24/7. Just imagine. Oh, horrible. So when it was dark outside back then, guess what they did? They went to bed. And when they had nothing to do, sometimes they would just do nothing. I know, it's amazing, should blow your mind, right? But now, the screen just consumes our every spare moment and it keeps us from getting enough sleep. So set a time that you won't use electronic devices. Turn off the TV at dinner time. Read a book before bed instead of watching endless seasons of that show you sort of like on Netflix. Maybe get a bin or a place that you're going to put all your family devices during those no screen time hours. And that means your device as well. Also, declutter your devices. Do a digital detox by just deleting all the apps that you don't use very often, or the apps and the things on your devices that just suck up way too much of your time. For example, recently I realized that I had been wasting a whole lot of time just playing one of those stupid puzzle games on my phone. You know what I'm talking about? So after I've been sitting there playing it for hours, I realized, oh my gosh, how much time have I just wasted? I've got to stop doing this. This is actually getting in the way of me doing things I actually want to do more. So I deleted it. Bam. Time waster managed. Number 7, say no. Repeat after me. No. No. You can say it, I promise. I mean, if you're like me, you're probably guilty of saying yes too much, am I right? It's okay to say to somebody, sorry, look, I wish I could do that, but I just can't do that right now. No. Every yes is a no to something else. When you say yes to something, you say no to everything else that you could be doing with that time. So yes to some new project at work means no to time you need to work on some of the other projects you have on your plate. Or it might mean no to your family when you have to stay at the office late trying to catch up on your ridiculous workload that you have somehow decided to take on yourself. So yes, it isn't always a bad thing to say, but before you say it, think first about the no side of every yes. So those are just 7 things that are going to help you find more rest in your life. So which of these things do you need to practice this week? I'm going to go rest. I'll see you later.